They call me Mighty, and they call me Mystic. And that's the way I like it. Before we start, if you haven't seen the last Mystic news, then allow me to explain. So we're starting a new series every Wednesday. Oh my god, my throat, called Creepypasta / Mythical Creature / SCP Talk. We're gonna shorten that down to C/M/S. Or M/C/S. It doesn't matter, I'm pretty sure it's CMS. CMS, guys, we're calling it CMS. But basically, I will talk about a scary creature and draw in the background. Why is my throat like that? To give you a visual. I'm so sorry about my throat. It just started acting up right when I talked. Chicken nugget. Now that you understand what is going on, let's get started on the first ever video about. And today's topic is going to be about the Wendigo. I wanted to start out with this one because he is my favorite monster, actually, so yay. Let's start with a simple question. What is the Wendigo? Because to some people, they don't know what a Wendigo is, and it might sound like gibberish to their ears. So, to me, though, the Wendigo is classified as a mythical creature since it actually derives from American folklore. Okay, here's a quote. Wendigo is a mythological creature or evil spirit which originates from the folklore of First Nations based in and around the East Coast forests of Canada, the Great Plains region of the United States, and the Great Lakes region of the United States. So if you live in any of those areas, watch out. I do live in the United States, but I don't think I don't really live near the Great Plains or the Great Lakes, as of my knowledge, so I think I'm good. I don't even live near a forest, so so I also don't live in Canada, so that's another no. But anyways, now the story of the Wendigo first started by the Algonquins. I probably butchered their name, but oh well. They were an indigenous tribe who lived on the eastern part of Canada. Another name for the Wendigo is also Wendigo and Weendigo, but those ones are less known and they sound weird. Like Weendigo. Ween. Okay. Now, from what I've drawn, you will start to see that Wendigos look heckin' scary. They are spoopy, and they live up to their looks. So here's another quote. According to most Algonquin oral traditions, a Wendigo is a cannibalistic monster that preys on the weak and socially disconnected. In most versions of the legend, a human becomes a Wendigo after his or her spirit is corrupted by greed or weakened by extreme conditions, such as hunger or cold. So to shorten this, the Wendigo is cannibalistic, and since a Wendigo once came from a human, Wendigos eat on other humans. If you were cannibalistic, you would eat other humans. If a squirrel was cannibalistic, he would eat other squirrels. So I think you guys know what that word means, though. A human also can become a Wendigo if they are taken by greed or selfishness, or they are weakened by extreme cold and/or hunger. So yeah, the Wendigo does sound scary. But we're not even done yet. He's spoopy, but we're not even done, guys. Okay, don't be greedy, you'll become the Wendigo. I'm joking. Hey, they did say it's a mythical creature, meaning it could be real. We'll never know. So here's another quote. The Wendigo is believed to be the spirit of winter and a symbol of the dangers of selfishness. Although beliefs vary, the Wendigo is generally considered a horrifying entity with an insatiable taste for human flesh. This means that the Wendigo will never stop hunting for human flesh. This is also a great lesson to teach people not to be selfish. Even worse, every time a Wendigo eats human flesh, they get bigger and bigger, and so they are never full of human flesh, because when they get bigger or bigger, they will also get hungrier and hungrier. You see what I'm getting at here? Good, good, good. Keep listening if you want some more stuff. So now that you know what a Wendigo is, and you will soon see what it looks like. I don't know what I'm at drawn, because I actually haven't drawn it yet. I'm reading the script first. But that's off topic. So let's begin. Okay, we're not going to have a story time section for every single creature, but if it is possible, I do have stories. So basically, I'm going to tell some story time stuff about the monster. And right now, I have 2 stories, so you guys can sit back and relax, watch me draw. I will read the stories to you guys. So, story number 1. One time, long ago, a big Wendigo stole an Indian boy, but the boy was too thin, so the Wendigo didn't eat him up right away. But he traveled with the Indian boy, waiting for him till he'd get fat. The Wendigo had a knife, and he'd cut the boy on the hand to see if he was fat enough to eat. But the boy didn't get fat. They traveled too much. One day, they came to an Indian village, and the Wendigo sent the boy to the Indian village to get some things for him to eat. He just gave the boy so much time to go there and back. The boy told the Indians that the Wendigo was near them, and showed them his hand where the Wendigo cut him to see if he was fat enough to eat. He said to the boy, "Hurry up, don't tell lies to those Indians." All of these Indians went to where the Wendigo was, and they cut off the Wendigo's legs. They went back again to see if he was dead. He wasn't dead. He was eating the juice from the inside of the bones of his legs that were cut off. The Indians asked the Wendigo if there was any fat on them. He said, "You bet there is. I have eaten lots of Indians. No wonder they are fat." The Indians then killed him and cut him to pieces. The end of this giant Wendigo. Alright, this next one is kind of long. Well, they're both long, but this next story came from 1661. So, at least, I don't know if it's true, but the time, basically, we don't know if any of these stories are true. They could have been made up. My throat is dying again, but this next story takes place in 1661. So, let's just say that it happened in 1661. Story number 2. What caused us greater concern was the news that met us upon entering the lake, namely that the men deputed by our conductor for the purpose of summoning the nations to the North Sea and assigning them a rendezvous where they were to await our coming, and met their death the previous winter in a very strange manner. Those poor men, according to the report given us, were seized with an ailment unknown to us, but not very unusual among the people we were seeking. They were afflicted with neither lunacy, hypochondria, nor frenzy, but have a combination of all these species of disease, which affects their imaginations and causes them a more than canine hunger. This makes them so rendezvous for human flesh that they pounce upon women, children, and even upon men, like veritable werewolves, and devour them voraciously, without being able to appease or glut their appetite. Ever seeking fresh prey, and the more greedily the more they eat. This ailment attacked their deputies, and as death is the sole remedy among those simple people for checking such acts of murder, they were slain in order to stay the course of their madness. Wow, so you guys might have not understood the second story, so basically, there's an actual disease called Wendigo psychosis, where people will have cannibalistic thoughts, all that stuff. But I have some fun facts too. Lumion Legacy actually has a Lumion based off of the Wendigo called Wendolin. So you can look at the Lumion Wendolin and he'll actually kind of resemble the Wendigo. If you can like see the two, he's like a less scary version, because you know Roblox's moderation kind of doesn't like scary stuff or blood or all that. So the Wendolin is like a less scary version of Wendigo. It evolves from Very by killing it in the cemetery, which actually makes it so that you just put Very through extreme cold and hunger, so he turned into a Wendolin. Kind of rude, honestly. Why would you want Wendolin? Why would you want to kill a Very just to get a Wendolin's really cool though, so. I don't know if any of you watch DuckTales, but a Wendigo appears in the Christmas special of DuckTales last Christmas. And Wendigos mainly have a deer skull for their head, but sometimes they don't. Wendigos are pretty much humans that act like deer, but sometimes they actually have a deer skull on their head, and sometimes they don't. If you search up Wendigos on the internet, which I advise to do at your own risk, because there's some scary stuff on there, you will find pictures of Wendigos with the skull and Wendigos without the skull, so you can actually compare the two. But anyways, that's all I have today for Wendigos. If you made it this far despite seeing the warning at the beginning, I give you praise. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for next Wednesday for our next story. Storytime stories were actually taken from Wikipedia/wiki/Wendigo. I'll just put the website in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow for Fan Art Thursday.